Listen to me. You think you stuck? You think life's hard? You looking at what you don't have? You looking at what's missing? And that's the problem. You so focused on the gaps that you miss the gifts. But let me tell you something. Gratitude is the power that changes everything. Gratitude is not soft, it's not weak. Gratitude is strength. It's a mindset. It's the warrior's mentality that says, no matter what I go through, I will not let my circumstances define me. I will define them. Stop scrolling, start reflecting. Stop chasing, start appreciating. You blessed, but you blind to it. You're gifted, but you ain't grateful for it. Gratitude unlocks energy. It unlocks resilience. You show me somebody who's grateful, I'll show you someone who never quits. Because when you're grateful, you stop saying, I have to, and you start saying, I get to. You get to work on your dreams. You get to fight for your family. You get to hustle for your purpose. You get to wake up and breathe today. Gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's about thinking right, because when your mind shifts, your life shifts. Gratitude gives you vision. It keeps you grounded and focused. It's how you turn a mess into a message. How you turn a trial into triumph. So don't wait until everything is perfect to be grateful. Be grateful now and watch how everything starts to shift. Gratitude is a mindset, not a mood. You choose it daily. Most people think gratitude is something that comes when everything is going right. They think it's a feeling that arrives when the bills are paid, the body is healthy, the relationships are good, and the sky is clear. But that's not gratitude. That's comfort. That's convenience. It's built in the struggle. You don't wait for the storm to pass to say thank you. You say thank you in the middle of the rain. Gratitude is not passive. It's not something that just shows up. It's not some fleeting emotion that knocks on your door. No, gratitude is a decision. It's a conscious choice to shift your focus from what's missing to what's already there. It's a daily practice, like brushing your teeth or training your muscles. The more you choose it, the stronger it gets. The more you look for things to be grateful for, the more you begin to see them, even in places you never thought they existed. The truth is, life isn't going to give you a break every morning. Some mornings, life hits you with weight, stress, setbacks, disappointments, pain. But even on those days, you still have the power to choose. You can still decide, today, I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to be not because everything is perfect, but because I'm breathing, because I have another shot at this thing called life, because I have people who love me, because I have purpose, even if the path isn't clear right now. Some people wake up and they're immediately overwhelmed. They check their phones, they scroll through chaos. They measure themselves against people they don't even know. And what happens? Their mind spirals into everything they don't have, everything they're not, and everything they're behind on. But what if, instead of reaching for your phone, you reach for your thoughts? What if the first words out of your mouth every day were, thank you? Not because everything's right, but because I'm alive. I have breath. I have opportunity. You don't need a miracle to be grateful. Sometimes the miracle is simply waking up. Gratitude is how you take control of your day before your day takes control of you. It's how you anchor your spirit before the world starts pulling at you. It's how you stay in alignment with the best version of yourself. Because let's be honest, when you're not grateful, you start complaining. You start comparing. You start getting bitter, jealous, insecure. And those emotions, they drain your energy. They block your vision. They make you forget how far you've come. But when you choose gratitude, when you say, I may not be where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be, your perspective changes. Your energy shifts. You stop blaming and start building. You stop focusing on what went wrong and start focusing on what can go right. And the beautiful thing is, this choice doesn't depend on your income, your status, or your situation. You don't need more to be grateful. You need clarity. You need perspective. Think about it. There's someone out there praying for the life you complain about. There's someone who would trade places with you in a heartbeat. You're walking around stressed because your car is old. But somebody out there is walking 10 miles to work every day. You're upset your phone cracked. Somebody else can't afford one. You're frustrated with your job. Somebody's out there begging for one. Gratitude is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about recognizing the blessings in spite of the imperfections. It's not about ignoring your pain. It's about refusing to let it blind you to everything that's still good. You can cry and still be grateful. You can be healing and still be thankful. You can be growing through something and still pause and say, man, I may not understand all this right now, but I'm grateful I'm still here. People talk about mindsets all the time: growth mindset, abundance mindset, leadership mindset. But the foundation of all of them is a grateful mindset. Why? Because when you're grateful, you stop sabotaging yourself. You stop waiting for permission. You stop living in the past or fearing the future. Attitude roots you in the present. The only place you actually have power, the only moment you can actually change. And that present moment is where dreams are built, where breakthroughs happen, where discipline is created. Choosing gratitude doesn't mean you settle. It doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you pursue your goals without being blind to your gains. It means you run your race without ignoring how far you've come. It means you hustle with heart, not just with hunger. Because when you're only hungry, you're never satisfied. But when you're grateful, every step is a victory. Every small win is fuel. Every obstacle becomes a teacher. Gratitude doesn't mean you ignore your goals. It means you build them with appreciation instead of anxiety. It means your journey becomes a blessing, not just a burden. And when life hits you, because it will, when the plans fall apart, when the people walk away, when the results don't show up, gratitude is what keeps you grounded. Gratitude is what reminds you, I've been through worse, and I'm still here. Gratitude reminds you that your story ain't over. Look, you don't have to wait for some magical moment to start living with gratitude. You can start right now. You can train your brain every day to look for 3 things you're thankful for. You can write them down. You can speak them out loud. You can meditate on them. Do this long enough, and your mind will start doing it automatically. Instead of waking up in stress, you'll wake up in strength. Instead of moving through life in lack, you'll move through life in love. You'll notice the little things. You'll appreciate the people. You'll see how much beauty surrounds you, even in hard times. When you walk into rooms with gratitude, you bring light. When you talk to people with gratitude, you build connection. When you face problems with gratitude, you find solutions. It changes how you lead, how you love, and how you live. And the most powerful part, it's free. It costs you nothing to be grateful, but it gives you everything. So make the choice, not once, not when you feel like it, but daily, no matter how tired you are, no matter how broken things seem. Gratitude is a habit, and like every habit, it starts with a decision. The decision to stop looking at what's wrong and to start focusing on what's right. The decision to stop complaining and start appreciating. The decision to stop waiting for things to change and to start changing how you see things. Gratitude is not a mood. It's not a wave you ride. It's a muscle you train. It's a mindset you build. And when you build it strong enough, it will carry you through anything. Gratitude creates resilience. It gives you strength to keep going. When life gets tough, when doors close, when dreams feel distant and the pain feels close, it's easy to want to quit. It's easy to fall into self-pity, to focus on everything that's wrong, to think the world is against you. But there's one tool, one mindset that can shift everything, and that's gratitude. Gratitude isn't just some feel-good philosophy, it's a lifetime. Your aggression lasts. Your pain lasts. It's a stabilizer in the chaos. It's a force that keeps you grounded when the ground beneath you shakes. Gratitude creates a deep well of strength inside you, a strength that doesn't come from your body or your bank account, but from your spirit. See, resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about bending without breaking. And when you live with gratitude, you develop this kind of flexibility. Gratitude teaches you how to endure, how to breathe through pain, how to hold on just one more day when everything in you says, let go. Why? Because when you're grateful, even in the darkest moments, you still see the light. Even when everything is falling apart, you still find one thing to hold on to. And that one thing, it could be hope, it could be love, it could be purpose. That one thing becomes your anchor. People think resilience is about being strong all the time, but real resilience isn't about acting tough. It's about having something worth fighting for. Gratitude reminds you what that something is. It reminds you of the people who believe in you. It reminds you of the goals you wrote down when you were full of fire. It reminds you of everything you've overcome to get this far. And that reminder, that's where the strength comes from. There's something powerful about a person who can say thank you even when their life isn't perfect. That person has tapped into a different kind of energy, the kind that doesn't run out just because circumstances change. When your gratitude is strong, your resilience is automatic because you're not living for temporary comfort. You're grounded in permanent truth. The truth that life isn't always easy, but it's always a gift. Think about it. When has complaining ever helped you push through a hard time? When has focusing on everything that's going wrong ever made you feel stronger? It doesn't. It drains you. It weakens you. But gratitude refuels you. When you take a moment and say, okay, this hurts, but I'm still standing. I still have breath in my lungs. I still have people who care. I still have purpose. Your mindset shifts. You stop reacting and you start responding with power. People who build their lives on gratitude have a quiet confidence. They're not loud about what they've been through, but they walk with a different kind of peace. They've cried, they've failed, they've been betrayed, they've been rejected, and yet they're still here. Why? Because gratitude kept them going. Gratitude reminded them that pain isn't permanent, that there's always a lesson in the loss, that breakdowns can lead to breakthroughs if you refuse to quit. You might be going through something right now. Maybe life hit you out of nowhere. Maybe the plan didn't work. Maybe you're tired, discouraged, or confused. But if you can find just one reason to be grateful, that reason can carry you through today. That one reason can be your strength when you feel weak. That one reason can remind you that your story isn't over. Gratitude doesn't remove your problems. It reshapes your perspective. It shows you that you're not powerless. That even when you don't control a situation, you still control your response. And a grateful response is a powerful response. A grateful response says, this may be tough, but I'm tougher. I may be hurting, but I'm healing. I may be delayed, but I'm not denied. It's easy to be grateful when the sun is shining, but the true test of gratitude is in the storm. Can you be grateful when it hurts? Can you say thank you when life doesn't look how you imagine? Can you keep showing up, keep working, keep loving, keep believing, even when you don't feel like it? That's where real resilience is born. You don't build resilience by reading about it. You build it by living through the fire and choosing to find meaning in the pain. You build it when life tries to break you, and you rise anyway. And gratitude is what fuels that rise. Gratitude is what whispers, keep going, when everything screams, give up. Sometimes gratitude isn't loud. Sometimes it's just a small voice in the back of your mind reminding you of what matters, reminding you that this moment, even if it's hard, is still part of your journey, reminding you that there's still something worth fighting for, that you're not alone, that you're still becoming who you're meant to be. And the more you practice gratitude, the more automatic it becomes. You start to notice the good in the little things, a smile from a stranger, the warmth of sunlight, a kind word from a friend. You start to appreciate your own growth, how you used to react and how you respond now. You realize how far you've come. Gratitude creates a cycle of strength. The more grateful you are, the stronger you become. And the stronger you are, the more you're able to see even more to be grateful for. It's not magic, but perfection is a trap. Life will never be perfect, but it can be meaningful. It can be beautiful. And gratitude is what reveals that beauty, even in broken places. Gratitude doesn't deny your pain. It gives you power over it. It doesn't erase your past. It helps you learn from it. It doesn't fix everything, but it changes everything. So don't wait until the pain is gone to be grateful. Start now. In the middle of the process, in the middle of the fight, in the middle of the unknown. Because it's in the middle that resilience is formed. It's in the middle that you discover who you really are. And who you are, when fueled by gratitude, is someone who cannot be stopped. You're not here by accident. You're not fighting alone. You're stronger than you think. And if you carry gratitude in your heart, no storm can take you down. You'll rise again and again and again. Because gratitude is your power. Gratitude is your anchor. Gratitude is your strength to keep going. Gratitude fuels discipline and sharpens focus. Most people think discipline is built from pain, from pressure, from grit alone. And yes, those things matter, but gratitude, real, intentional gratitude, is what gives discipline its roots. It's what turns routine into ritual, effort into excellence, and daily struggle into steady strength. Without gratitude, discipline becomes punishment. But with gratitude, discipline becomes purpose in motion. Discipline isn't just about doing the hard thing. It's about doing the hard thing with the right heart. And gratitude is the heart check. When you're truly grateful for your life, your opportunity, your second chances, your breath, you don't take things lightly. You wake up and you move with intention. You don't hit snooze 20 times because you're not just waking up to an alarm. You're waking up to a calling. Attitude makes you see the gift and responsibility. When others see work, you see worth. When others see routine, you see a reason. You're not dragging your feet through life. You're showing up because you get to. You get to go to school. You get to build that business. You get to show up for your family. You get to chase your goals. Gratitude flips I have to into I'm blessed to. And when you live with that kind of mindset, your discipline becomes unstoppable. When people lack gratitude, they start to resent the grind. They see the gym as punishment, not as empowerment. They see studying as a burden, not a bridge. They see their job as a trap, not a training ground. But when you're grateful, everything shifts. The work doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. Why? Because you see the meaning behind it. And meaning is what fuels consistency. Gratitude locks your eyes on the reason why behind everything you do. You can't focus if you're always frustrated. You can't build something great if you're constantly complaining. Gratitude clears the mental fog. It silences the noise. When you start your day by being thankful, you quiet the doubt, the fear, the distraction. You create space to focus on what really matters. You stop wasting energy on what you can't control. And you start pouring energy into what you can. Gratitude teaches you to protect your priorities, to say no to distractions and yes to your destiny. It sharpens your vision. Suddenly you're not chasing everything, you're chasing the right thing. And when you focus on the right thing long enough, you get results. Discipline without focus is chaos. Focus without gratitude is shallow. But when you bring all three together, discipline, focus, and gratitude, you become a force. You become a force. Think about it. The people you admire, the ones who rise to the top of their field, who maintain excellence over time, they don't just have talent, they have discipline, they have relentless focus. But if you really listen to their story, you'll hear the same thread. They're grateful. They're grateful for the journey, for the setbacks, for the struggle that made them stronger. They don't just work hard, they honor the work. They honor the work. Gratitude removes entitlement. It kills laziness. Because when you're grateful, you don't expect anything to be handed to you. You're willing to earn it. You don't roll your eyes at the process. You embrace it. You don't demand instant results. You trust the timing. That's what discipline needs. A heart that says, I'll keep going, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. And here's the thing. Gratitude doesn't just make you more disciplined, it makes you more joyful in your discipline. There's a difference between grinding with bitterness and grinding with belief. When you're bitter, every step feels heavier. When you're grateful, every step feels lighter. Not because the weight is gone, but because the reason is strong. You don't have to love the process every single day, but you have to respect it. And gratitude keeps your respect high, even when your motivation is low. Gratitude reminds you how far you've come. It's easy to forget the progress when you're always focused on what's next. But take a moment. Remember when you used to pray for the things you have now? That job, that relationship, that growth? You didn't come this far just to quit because it got hard. You didn't overcome all those obstacles just to tap out now. Gratitude tells you, get there. Where? You tell me you don't want to come to Mars? You still sitting on the bed? You still stand? Do you want to come to Mars? You still say that? You own it more because you said you owe it to yourself to step up and say, you know what? You come because you come. You're built for this. Stay focused. And when distractions come, because they will, gratitude is your filter. It reminds you what's truly important. You don't waste time trying to impress people who don't matter because you're too busy honoring the blessings you already have. You don't chase likes, clout, or empty praise because you got something deeper driving you, not ego. Gratitude also builds humility, and humility fuels growth. A grateful person doesn't act like they've made it. They stay hungry. They keep learning. They keep stretching. They don't take shortcuts. They put in the reps, the work, the hours, because they know every day is a chance to get better. That's real discipline. Showing up not because you feel like it, because you know it matters. And when failure hits, because it will, gratitude keeps you from falling apart. It tells you even this moment has purpose. You don't let failure define you, you let it refine you. That mindset turns setbacks into setups. It turns obstacles into opportunities to grow. And that's what separates the great from the average. Not talent, but toughness. Not just hard work, but hard work. Gratitude does that. It's easy to quit when things don't go your way, but gratitude reminds you why you started. It reminds you that this isn't about a perfect day. It's about showing up consistently, one foot in front of the other, brick by brick. Gratitude keeps your head in the game when your emotions try to take you out. You want to be more disciplined? Don't just build routines, build reasons. And your reason starts with gratitude. Because when you're thankful, you stop looking for excuses. You stop waiting to feel motivated. You just do the work, not because you have to, because you get to, because you're alive, because you're able, because there's someone out there who would trade places with you in a heartbeat. Gratitude doesn't make the journey easy. It makes the journey sacred. It turns pain into fuel. It turns challenges into clarity. It takes average days and makes them meaningful. It gives you the strength to get up early, to stay late, to keep a job you hate, To take a list, you put it in the car. To get to the game, to get to the Fordham, to keep a list together like us. The average days, it makes them meaningful. It gives you the strength to get up early, to stay late, to repeat the boring, consistent tasks that lead to greatness. So the next time you struggle to stay disciplined, pause and find the gratitude. Say thank you, not just for the results, but for the process. Say thank you, not just for the wins, but for the lessons. Say thank you, not just for the good days, but for the growth days. Because discipline built on gratitude isn't forced, it's chosen. It's not fragile, it's fortified. It's not short-lived, it's sustainable. Gratitude doesn't just make you focus, it makes you faithful to your path. And when you're faithful, when you're focused, when you're fueled by gratitude, there's no limit to what you can become. You shift from I have to I get to. And that changes everything. It's not just a cute quote or a motivational slogan. It's a complete transformation of perspective. It's a mental pivot that can take your entire life from frustration to fulfillment, from pressure to purpose. Too many people go through life dragging their feet, seeing every responsibility as a burden, every commitment as an obligation, and every challenge as a curse. They wake up and groan. I have to go to work. I have to take care of my kids. I have to study. I have to exercise. But those four little words, I get to, have the power to flip the script. When you say I have to, what you're really saying is that you're being forced. It implies no choice. It feels like weight, like chains around your day. It breeds resentment, impatience, even apathy. But when you say, I get to, suddenly it feels like a privilege. It feels like opportunity. It reminds you that there's a time you might have prayed for what you have now, that there are people in the world who would give anything to be in your shoes, facing the same so-called burdens you now carry with complaint. Think about the difference between saying, I have to go to work, and I get to go to work. One drags your spirit down. The other lifts your energy up. One focuses on the obligation, the fatigue, the demands. The other focuses on the blessing of employment, the opportunity to grow, the ability to provide. It's not about faking happiness. It's about choosing a higher mindset that reminds you what a gift it is just to be alive and capable. When you shift your mindset to I get to, discipline becomes easier. Showing up becomes lighter. Challenges don't disappear, but your attitude toward them changes. And attitude is everything. Your attitude determines your altitude. And gratitude is everything to achieve what you said you admit to. Now, really deep gratitude creates that shift. The person who is truly grateful doesn't resent the grind. They embrace it. They say, I get to wake up early to chase my dream. I get to struggle because that means I'm growing. I get to fail because it means I'm trying. This shift is life-changing. When you say, I have to take care of my family, you sound like you're being pulled into responsibility unwillingly. But when you say, I get to take care of my family, you speak from a place of love, of privilege, of honor. It means you understand that family isn't a chore, it's a gift. That the ability to show up for someone, to provide, to support is not a hassle. It's one of the greatest blessings in life. The same thing applies to your health. Some people dread the gym, the early runs, the meal plans. They say, I have to work out. But the person who shifts their mindset says, I get to move my body today. I get to take care of this vessel that carries me through life. They remember that there are people lying in hospital beds, wishing for the ability to take a simple walk. They remember that strength is built through consistency, and consistency is easier when you frame your habits as privileges, not punishments. And what about your passion, your dream, your calling. Maybe the path is hard. Maybe it feels like nobody sees you. Maybe you're grinding day in and day out with no applause, no recognition. And the thought comes, why do I have to keep doing this? That's the moment to pause and shift. I get to pursue this dream. I get to write, to sing, to build, to lead, to teach, to serve. When you focus on what you get to do rather than what you have to do, your spirit ignites again. Your creativity flows. Your joy returns. Because you're no longer moving through life as if someone's forcing you. You're moving through life as if you're choosing it. And that choice, that's power. That's freedom. That's where real motivation lives. Not in external pressure, but in internal purpose. I get to puts the power back in your hands. This shift doesn't just affect you, it affects the people around you. Your energy changes. Your presence becomes lighter, warmer, more uplifting. People feel the difference when you walk into a room with gratitude instead of grumbling. They notice when you speak from love rather than obligation. Gratitude spreads. It inspires. And it starts with something as simple as how you frame your responsibilities.
The more grateful you are, the more you attract what you desire. This isn't just some poetic phrase or a motivational soundbite. It's a deep principle that governs how we move through the world and how the world responds to us. Gratitude is more than a feeling. It's a vibration, an energy, a signal. And the energy you put out consistently is what the universe reflects back to you. When you live from a place of true gratitude, you open doors. You shift your mindset, your choices, your habits. Changes ripple out into your relationships, your opportunities, and your outcomes. Many people chase success, love, peace, and fulfillment like they're running after something far away. They keep pushing, striving, grinding, thinking that when they finally get what they want, then they'll be grateful. Then they'll be happy. Then they'll be at peace. But what they don't realize is that they're living in reverse. Gratitude is not the end result. It's the starting point. It's not what comes after the breakthrough. It's what creates the breakthrough. When you wake up and say, a thank you, even before anything new shows up, you're aligning your spirit with abundance. You're declaring that your life already has value, already holds beauty, already contains blessings. That declaration creates a powerful shift. You stop acting like someone who is desperate, lacking, or empty, and you begin acting like someone who is full, focused, and open. And that kind of person doesn't repel good things. They attract them. Gratitude changes how you carry yourself. When you're thankful for what you have, you take better care of it. Whether it's your job, your body, your relationships, or your time, gratitude makes you more intentional. You don't waste things you're grateful for. You don't complain about things you're nurturing. And when you steward what you already have with care and appreciation, you create space for more. It's like telling the universe, I'm ready for the next level. I'm not squandering this blessing, I'm maximizing it. And that's where the attraction happens, not in magic or luck, but in mindset and action. The more you appreciate your current reality, the more motivated you become to grow it. And not from a place of fear or lack, but from a place of excitement and readiness. Gratitude becomes the soil in which your goals grow. It fuels your vision without making you anxious. It lets you dream without being desperate. And it keeps you grounded, even when your aspirations are sky high. Gratitude also makes you more attractive to other people, not just physically, but energetically. There's something magnetic about a person who walks into a room with presence, peace, and appreciation. They're not loud, but they're powerful. They don't have to prove anything because their confidence comes from within. They're not competing, they're connecting. And that energy draws people in, whether it's personal relationships, business connections, or creative collaborations. People are naturally pulled toward gratitude. Why? Because gratitude is rare. In a world full of complaints, entitlement, and negativity, someone who's genuinely thankful stands out. They bring light. They bring balance. They don't drain others, they elevate them. And when you become that kind of person, you start attracting opportunity you never thought were possible. Not because you're chasing them, but because you become the kind of person those opportunities were designed for. Gratitude also changes the way you deal with adversity, and that shift makes you even more attractive to success. Life is going to hit hard sometimes. Things won't go as planned. People will disappoint you. Doors will close. But a grateful heart doesn't crumble under pressure. It expands. It looks at failure and says, what is this trying to teach me? It looks at loss and says, what can I still hold on to? That kind of resilience creates momentum. Because when you're grateful, even in the storm, you keep showing up. And success follows consistency, not perfection. It's easy to be grateful when everything is working. But the real power of gratitude is revealed when things aren't going your way. If you can look at your life in the middle of a delay, a trial, or a disappointment, and still say, I am thankful for this journey, you are operating at a higher frequency. You are choosing to rise above circumstance and operate with vision. And that energy attracts more than outcomes. It attracts strength, peace, clarity, and direction. Even your goals become more aligned when you're grateful. You stop chasing things that are rooted in ego, and you start pursuing what actually fulfills you. Gratitude filters out the noise. It brings you back to center. You no longer want more for the sake of more. You want more because you're ready to give more, contribute more, become more. That shift from getting to giving is powerful because when you give from a grateful heart, you always receive more in return. And let's talk about abundance. Gratitude is the door to abundance, not just financial, but emotional, spiritual, and relational abundance. You don't need to have millions in the bank to feel rich. You just need to recognize how rich you are already. If you have love, time, freedom, breath, opportunity, vision, pet, wealth, and the more you appreciate it, the more it grows. It's a universal principle. What you focus on expands. Focus on what you lack, and you'll feel empty. Focus on what you have, and you'll feel empowered. Gratitude doesn't mean you stop desiring more. It means your desire becomes healthy, not hollow. You're no longer chasing things to fill a void. You're building on top of a foundation. And that foundation is gratitude. When your life is rooted in appreciation, everything you attract is more stable, more meaningful, more lasting. You don't just get things, you keep them because you're ready for them. It's like preparing your home for guests. If you keep your space clean, warm, and welcoming, people want to stay. But if your space is chaotic, cluttered, and cold, people won't feel safe. Gratitude prepares your life to receive. It sets the tone. It makes your inner world so powerful that your outer world can't help but reflect it. Even your faith deepens with gratitude. You stop praying like a beggar and start believing like a builder. You stop questioning if good things are possible and you start trusting that they're already on the way. You see signs, not setbacks. You feel momentum, not misery. And all of this, every part of it starts with a decision. The decision to be grateful. Not once in a while. Not when things are good, but every day. No matter what. The more grateful you are, the more you attract what you desire. Not because life magically changes, but because you do. You become more aware, more present, more alive. You notice open doors instead of closed ones. You see progress instead of problems. You feel hope instead of heaven. And from that energy, you start building. Brick by brick, step by step, day by day. Gratitude is not weakness. It's not naivety. It is power. It is perspective. And it is the foundation for every good thing you want to experience. When you start living from that truth, life starts responding. Not because it's easy, but because you're finally aligned with what matters most. Gratitude is the secret ingredient that turns ordinary moments into sacred ones. Small wins into big ones, and delayed dreams into divine timing. You want more out of life? Start by being deeply, truly, passionately grateful for what you already have. Everything else will follow.